Let's talk about the real reason Donald Trump won the election. Hillary Clinton had her own problems. She had a drinking problem that the media knew about but didn't tell you about. While Donald Trump, clean and sober, was out doing 2 rallies a day in swing states, Hillary was home 3 days, 4 days a week, drinking wine, getting buzzed, sitting on her 12-point lead. Let's take it state by state. Trump went to Michigan multiple times since the convention. Hillary did not. She was home drinking wine. Pennsylvania, Trump went to multiple times. Hillary took it for granted because she was going to win in a landslide. Didn't have to go to deal with the people of Pennsylvania because she took them for granted. Florida, Trump won to multiple times during the heart of the election. Hillary, not so much. She had Florida in the bag, or so she thought. So it was okay to sit home, drink some wine, and rest up for the debates. Wisconsin, another Democratic state that Hillary took for granted. Trump went to multiple times. He was out working her. 2 rallies, sometimes 3 rallies a day. Hillary, home, resting. So when you look at who worked harder, Donald Trump outworked her. That's why he's president. Not the Russians, but work ethic, sobriety. Sobriety and work ethic won the election, not the Russians. Now, Hillary wants to push the Russian conspiracy. Well, if I was a lazy drunk who didn't do a lot of work, I would probably blame somebody else. Hillary and the media are blaming somebody else. But let's take a look at the 2 candidates. Hillary liked her wine. Trump doesn't drink. Hillary took a lot of breaks. Trump almost took no days off from the convention, and the time the FBI began spying on him. Through Election Day, Trump worked. Hillary drank, rest, worked, drank, rest. So when you pile that up over months from July through November, Trump did so many more rallies in states that mattered. Pennsylvania, he outworked her. Michigan, Trump outworked her. Florida, Trump outworked her. Ohio, Trump outworked her. Wisconsin, Trump outworked her. Iowa, Trump outworked her. By the way, all the states that I mentioned, had they gone another direction, there would have been a different result, particularly Florida, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Trump practically lived there. On the other hand, had Hillary spent more time in Florida and Pennsylvania, she wins Pennsylvania and Florida, she's president. She didn't. She was spending time in Arizona, a Republican state where she didn't really have a chance because she was so arrogant, she wanted to run up the score. She wanted to win in a landslide, and that strategy cost her the election. She ended up losing in a landslide because of her arrogance and her drinking problem. Now let's take a look at the email issue. Hillary, as Secretary of State, was required to have a government server for 2 reasons. The Archive Act. The Archive Act was put into existence after Watergate so that elected officials or government officials couldn't hide stuff from the public and Congress the same way that Nixon did. In addition, there's a security issue in the time of the internet. Had she had a private server for her private use in the Clinton Foundation and a government server for Secretary of State duties, she would not have had this huge problem and probably would have been president. But she didn't. She chose to combine the 2 servers, probably because it helped fundraising for the Clinton Foundation, basically bribery. Now, she got caught on that. So what did she do? She deleted 33,000 emails 10 days after they were subpoenaed. That is obstruction of justice. But what are they accusing Trump of? The same thing that Hillary blatantly did, which is obstruction of justice. It is ironic. That's why I think Hillary's behind a lot of it. She's accusing Trump of a lot of the things that Hillary did. In addition, during the email investigation into Hillary Clinton, she had Fusion GPS that was funded by the Democratic National Committee's money and by the Clinton campaign money give over $600,000 to the wife of one of the FBI agents that was investigating her. I'm calling that a bribe. Hillary bribed the FBI. That's why they laid out the evidence against her and then said nobody would prosecute her. Nobody that would bribe or that was bribed by her would prosecute her. That's what they were really saying. That's why she got out of it. And it was very convenient that those charges were dropped right before the Democratic National Convention, a convention that she got caught stealing. Also remember that Hillary Clinton took over $100 million from the Russians on the Uranium One deal, used part of that money to pay off the Democratic National Committee's debt of over $30 million. In exchange for that $30 million, she got to rig the 2016 Democratic nomination process. She got superdelegates. She picked those superdelegates. Senators, over 177 members of the United States House. Almost every Democratic senator, 45 Democratic senators were her superdelegates. They were all conspiring to steal the nomination from whoever it was. It turned out to be Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders should have been the Democratic nominee. But since Hillary had rigged the Democratic nomination process with Russian money, that never happened. So we need to hold the 45 Democratic senators that were superdelegates for Hillary accountable. The 177 Democratic House members that conspired to steal the nomination from Bernie Sanders or whoever it was. Remember, Hillary was going to be the nominee in 2008. She lost in a landslide to Barack Obama. She was damn sure going to be certain that it did not happen again. So she rigged the nomination process. She got caught at the convention. She disenfranchised 5 million Democrat voters. And then what did she do? She didn't put Bernie Sanders on the ticket. Had it been Clinton Sanders, Hillary wins Michigan. Had it been Clinton Sanders, she wins Florida. She is probably president if it's Clinton Sanders. She didn't do that. She picked Tim Kaine, the angriest, most unpolished white guy I could possibly think of. So Clinton Sanders wins. Clinton Kaine loses. What does Hillary do? Doesn't blame herself for getting caught stealing the nomination from Sanders and then not putting him on the ticket. She blames the Russians. Had she picked Sanders, she's president. She picked Kaine. Whose fault was that? She blames Putin. I blame Hillary. Had Hillary worked harder, she'd be president. Whose fault is that? She blames Putin. I blame Hillary. The other part of this is this continual Russia, Russia, Russia. The Democrats and Hillary and the media are pushing us towards war with Russia. The Russians already consider the Cold War to have been restarted because Hillary lost. Now ask yourself, do you want to go to war with Russia because Hillary lost? That is a yes or no question you need to decide in 2018. Do you want to bring the draft back and get ready to go to war with Russia because Hillary Clinton lost? I don't. I want peace with Russia, primarily because they have 7,000 nuclear weapons. They have over 20,000 tanks. I do not want World War III because Hillary Clinton lost. My name's Tim. This is Tim's TV. We are going over the reasons why Donald Trump won and Hillary Clinton lost. And none of them, at least not the top 10, are going to be Russia.